What's up, Pirates? Ray Talks here with Awaken TCG, and today we have some live gameplay for you guys with commentary. Today we're going to be doing Doflamingo, green purple Doflamingo versus black blue Rebecca. Without further ado, let's get right into it. My opponent here is going to go ahead and use leader ability and grab a Leo, trashing the Kaya, passing turn. And then for my turn, I'm going to play Buena Vista, just do the basic search, top 5, grab a film type card. Yeah, this matchup is definitely rough for Doflamingo, so I go ahead and grab a Nami there. But like I was saying, this matchup is definitely rough for Doflamingo. The Rebecca just has, for the most part, always has answers to anything that you can do and play. So the worst part about it is, in my opinion, is it has a card that completely negates your 10 drop Doflamingo. And so, you know, and I'm referring to the 7 cost Luffy. So if you're ever in a situation where you do play the 10 drop Doflamingo and you play it on the Luffy, they can always just trash 7 and it gets restood that turn. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really affect it too much, especially because Rebecca, likes to have 20 plus cards in trash at one time before they even play the Luffy. And so then that means they can restand, turn after turn. And in my opinion, I think that is the worst part about it. Yeah, so it's kind of rough for the matchup overall. I probably will make a video about it as soon as I get more experience on it. But yeah, Rebecca can't attack, so you basically never resting the leader unless they or Lumbus, the Kyros, rest the leader if they don't have event, right? And so it's like there's all these little things where Rebecca just does well against Dofi because of just how the deck is built and how the deck is played. And so here we're in a situation where I have my Nami on board. I'm at 3 life. My opponent is at 4 life, so I'm not too terrified here. He grabs his stage, so it's always harder to play around Rebecca when they have stage and they can just have the Kyros up on board for free at all times. It's those 5k swings get very annoying, especially if your leader is at 5k. Like if you're versing a Whitebeard, a Kyros isn't too bad because they have to commit a Dawn, right, to even get a swing off. But for the most part, the leaders are 5,000 power, and so the Kyros are always just putting in work, and then they drop 2 down and it just gets even worse. Your hand starts dwindling. I definitely have to learn some tech for this matchup in specific, but so far I have a limited amount of experience in the matchup. And so here we are in a position where my opponent is thinking about, he's at 3 done, but he's gonna play a blocker. Hold on, let's see what he does here. Oh, he's trashing for Kaya. Anyways, so now it is the rest of his turn here. He's gonna use 1 Dawn for Rebecca effect, it looks like. Grabbing another Kyros, which he desperately needed. Oh no, he has another one in hand. So I mean, he still gets another card in hand, and he is going to pass with 2 up. That's kind of interesting, passing with 2 up. I mean, I guess he doesn't have any other play, so that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and pay 3 for Nami and 1 to use her effect here. Let's see what I grab. So I end up going for a Buena Vista, which is probably the one card that you'll never keep on board against Rebecca, because so much bottom deck effects, right? It's 3,000 worlds, or that sort of destruction card, I forgot what it's called. Just KOs it, and it's brutal. It's brutal. And it's at 5, so it's perfect for Lumbus, or Lumbus just uses his effect, and then he can drop a Kyros, he can drop a Leo. He has a lot of options aside from the bottom deck and the KO events to actually get rid of it, right? And so it's very difficult to keep that on board. In other matchups, it is a little easier to have the that backup to be able to actually get some extra draws on board. with Gil Tesoro, but not against Rebecca. He's gonna go ahead and swing 5 with the Kyros at Nami, and I take it. I'm like, I have another Nami, it's not a big issue. That's my thought process going into it. But again, I'm versing Rebecca, so it's just gonna, come falling down. And then here, he thought he could trash the Kaya, but then I later told him that, oh no, you can't. So he had to bring the Kaya back, which didn't make a difference because the Kyros can just, get killed, and then he just taps stage right. So not big difference there. The effect was gonna go through regardless. And so then he kills my other Nami. Now I'm like, wow, well, I should have probably saved one. But it is what it is. And I think from here on out, it's just, I don't think there's anything I can do to change the momentum. Like, he has 3 units on board he can swing with, 2 of which I cannot kill at all. And I have no board, right? Like, that's the thing. I have no board at this point, and so it is looking rough. This is the position that, Rebecca really wants to be in, where they put you on the back foot. And the deck is already super stally, so if they can get you on the back foot, it makes it just 10 times easier for them to win the matchup, because they can always just answer whatever, you put down. Since you're already on the back foot, you play something, they have the answer to it. It's not where, you're set up, they play something, and then you react. They're reacting to what you're doing because they're already in a position to be able to do that. And so then I just play the Luffy into the Uta, pass. Looking back, I really don't think I had a better turn than that. He's just gonna Orlumbus the Uta and KO it, right? And so it's like, yeah, I definitely have to learn this matchup. But there he goes, Orlumbusing the Uta. He is going to KO it. Then my opponent is going to go ahead and drop a Sabo for 5. So he's going to draw 2, trash 2. So he trashed a Leo and a stage, which is probably the right play here. And then he passed turn, and I go ahead and use 10 drop Dofi. Not much other options since he played the Sabo. I can't really do any type of KOing through effects, so I can't play my tech card that I have. But I 10 drop, I swing 5 at a Kyros, he takes. I swing 7 at the other Kyros, he takes. My bad, he blocks. And then I pass turn. But see, now this is where it gets kind of bad for me. Obviously, you guys can see I have another 10 drop Dofi in hand, but he's going to play the Luffy, and that's kind of just going to negate anything that I have going on. And he still has the Orlumbus on board, so he can definitely just get rid of my Dofi here for free. And it looks like he's going to do just that. He's going to Orlumbus effect the 10 drop Dofi, and then obviously he's going to KO it somehow. He's just counting up, making sure he can use the 4 drop event there and be able to use its secondary effect, where if you have 15 cards or more, instead of KOing a 4 drop or less, you can kill a 6 drop or less. And so 4 minus 10 equals 6. Then he's going to go ahead and play Orlumbus. He pays 1 for leader effect here and grabs a Yats because he cannot pick up a Red Rock with Rebecca effect. Has to be a Dress Rose type. And so then he pass his turn. I go ahead and draw. I mean, I have a really big hand, but I'm in a really rough spot because every time I've 10 dropped, he's just gotten rid of it. Obviously, it's only been once, and so I'm kind of debating what to do. Really rough spot here. I mean, he has a full board. So I go ahead and pay 5 for weaklings. Can't choose to die. I forgot what the event is called, but I target the Orlumbus and rest it, and then I go ahead and KO it. Kind of a bad turn. I could have 10 dropped, but that wouldn't really gotten me much because obviously we know his hand. He was just going to Luffy regardless, and so I'm over here trying to KO the Kyros, clear his board out. Try to do something, right? Stay in this game here. He counters out, and then I swing 8,000 at the Kyros. He finally takes it, and then we are back in a slightly better position, is what it looks like, but in reality we aren't. That Orlumbus on board just makes it so difficult for us to keep anything on board. Obviously that's the second one playing, we cleared one, but I mean that's just the Rebecca matchup. If she sees her cards, it's kind of impossible to win, especially in this matchup. That's why she does really good against Law, really good against Zoro, especially with all the small bodies. She can just get rid of them really easily. He goes and plays Kyros, and then Orlumbus affects the Luffy, so I know what's coming next. He goes and pays 4. Boom. 3,000 worlds. Say goodbye to my Luffy. It's to the bottom of my deck. And we're back to square one where we don't have a board. The Rebecca is pretty much comfortably set up to be able to just to react to whatever I do. This is probably one of the worst positions to be in against Rebecca, like we've talked about. But yeah, now my turns are getting a little rough here. So it looks like we are going to go ahead and swing 7,000 at leader. He goes and takes, and then we just play double Uta for 4, or for 8, 4 and 4, and then we go ahead and pass. So he goes and plays the Luffy. Orlumbus is a Uta. That way I cannot block. KOs it with the Leo. And now he has free range to be able to just kill the second Uta and put me back to square one. And so this is kind of, this matchup in particular is just Rebecca. I mean, that's most of Rebecca's matchup. Just clear your board, stall, and then it puts him in the position in Endgame, right, where they can just swing at you for life, King Kong gun or whatever, and just, you know, finish you off. So it's very difficult, and these matches take very long. As you can see, we're almost 15 minutes in. He does Luffy effect, and then he's gonna go ahead and attach Dawn, and swing at my Uta to KO it. And it looks like he's gonna pass after that. My turns are looking rough. I take life, no trigger. Yeah, he's definitely not gonna swing, not gonna give me no bodies to really 10 drop with. And so as you can see, I was running Brooks in this particular match. As you can see here in my hand, I have a Brook. I have taken those out as they didn't feel like they were. It didn't feel like they were, you know, the pieces to the puzzle, which is the deck. It felt like those pieces didn't fit into the puzzle, and so I took them out and I traded them out because, I mean, in theory, you know, on your 7 Dawn 8 Dawn turn, you would like to Luffy, Brook into a Nami, but that's just way too much setup, and the card, you already have to run a lot of events which take up a lot of the deck, and you have to have, you know, at least your 10 2Ks, so that makes up about half of the deck, and so there's not much room for, you know, these Brooks, in my opinion. I think you can run some crucial cards instead of them, and so I was rocking only 2, but when you're only rocking 2, it becomes very difficult. I guess maybe on your 4 Dawn turn you can Brook Nami, but I don't know, I just felt like they weren't working, so I definitely did take them out. So I start out my turn by swinging 5, and he goes and blocks. In these situations, it's really hard to really do anything. The Luffy can restand. I pointed out the Luffy there, but he had already used his effect, so he wasn't going to restand anyway. I should have just used it on the Rebecca, but that's fine. I mean, the Luffy was going to restand regardless. But Sabo and Kyros are tapped. Kyros doesn't matter too much. He has stage up, he has leader up. That thing isn't dying. He has the Orlumbus up, and it's just rough. It's really rough. I mean, his deck's getting low, but he has the Luffy on board, so he's going to keep putting 7 cards back into deck, 7 cards back into deck, and so he should not have to worry about decking out. And then see how he plays the rest of his turn. So obviously, in real matches, you kind of want to like order your cards. You pick what you want to put back into your deck. As far as if you're Rebecca, you want to pick certain cards you want to put back into your deck, kind of what you need, and then order them as well, because you might actually see them, because Rebecca games go on forever, and that's something I have to get used to because I'm used to playing more faster pace, and so the long stall games definitely, like, I don't know, they just they definitely do something to me. No good things. It's only bad things. Like, I just start getting impatient, if you will. So I have to practice on my patience personally, because if my opponent takes, you know, 4 or 5 minutes for one turn, it's like, okay, like, you don't get to play the game because your opponent is just thinking, and like, for me, that really gets me impatient. So I gotta work on that, especially with tournaments coming up in October. Luckily I have 2 weeks, so I have to, like, you know, figure something out to do while my opponent's taking 5 minutes, because I know this matchup is A, rough already. It's a losing matchup for Dofi, and B, Rebecca players take forever to play their turns. I don't fully blame them, because the deck, you know, you kind of have to think about your turns for a little, but yeah, some Rebecca's players just be taking forever, and so I got to work on my patience. And then definitely I'm going to look up time rules, because you never know, with this new meta being slower, things can get a little rough, a little shaky. So I go ahead and take life there, down to 1 life, looking really rough. Not sure what to do here, not looking good for me. He's gonna go ahead and pay 2 Dawn and 3 Dawn. Yes, 3 Dawn, and drop a Bartolomeo blocker. Probably good, so I don't clear his board, as he can't clear the Dofi this turn yet. So it looks like I'm going to swing 5 here at leader. He is going to definitely block out. I think he is at 1 life now. And my turn gets a little rough. Definitely have to see what I'm going to. I end up going and swinging 10,000 with the Doflamingo, as I don't want to attach any Dawn. Kind of want to see what my opponent does, what he's reacting with my swing, but yeah, I mean, it didn't matter what who I swung to. It was getting blocked out regardless. He wants to keep his blocker. The Kyros I'm never swinging at, and life, he wants to keep his last life. Definitely have to make some changes for this matchup in particular. I already have some ideas brewing, so you guys are gonna have to wait and see that. I pay 7 to play Luffy, Brook combo, and then I pass. And the reason for that is I run that 5-drop event, which is really good at KOing Orlumbus early on and resting blockers in turns I want to go for lethal, and this is one of those turns. But yeah, I don't know. I just need to get more reps on the deck. It's still brand new playing in person, so definitely making some mistakes. But yeah, being able to play Luffy and then boom, just passing to go to 5 Dawn makes it really easy to use that 5-drop event for counter, which is really good. But my opponent had other plans. Yeah, by this point, I'm kind of just like, my hand has dwindled down, have not been able to, recuperate. And so, from that midpoint on, it's kind of just been like me trying to survive another turn, And when you're in that position, it's very hard to come back. Not that it's impossible, but it's very difficult, especially a deck like with Rebecca, where, Rebecca continuously clears your board, and you'll never have that turn where you can swing for game. Yeah. But I mean, the rest of the game has been played out. This is going to be the last turn. As you can see his hand, I have no blockers up. He has 2 King Kong guns. I only have 2 Dawn active, and so he double King Kong guns, attaches the rest of his Dawn to the Luffy, and double swings for the KO. And that's basically what Rebecca does, right? You know, stall, get your opponent into a rough position, you know, slowly whittle them down, and then boom, you can go for a lethal turn, which is very hard to deal with. Here, the King Kong gun is giving him 12,000 plus the initial 7, which is 19,000. And then this last swing, he's going to attach 3 more Dawn to go to 22,000. And I'm never blocking 22,000. So GG's to my opponent. It was a great matchup that we can bring to you guys. Thank you guys so much for the love on the last 2 videos. You guys have been really going crazy. At 1,000 subscribers, don't forget we are doing a giveaway, and we're adding stuff to the giveaway, so we'll show off what we're going to be adding very soon. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like this video, comment down below, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.